It's your boy Jimmy Blue, Mr. All Access Elite Boxing, reporting live from downtown Dallas, Texas. Listen, guys, I'm here with the legend, the man, the myth himself, one of the best legendary cutmans in all of combat sports, Jacob Stitch Duran. It's always a pleasure. How you doing, my man?
Hello, Jimmy Blue. I'm talking to you real quiet and all that, and then he turns a button on. Hey, this is Jimmy Blue. I'm doing good, bro. Thanks for having me on.
Well, listen, we always appreciate your time. You're always gracious with your time. Look, we just left the actual Media Day press conference. Nate Diaz versus Jake Paul, man. Things got a little bit chippy upstairs in the conference. It's a little bit of pushing and shoving. Give us your take as far as what went down today.
Well, the press conference, I saw security, pushing security, looked like a rugby, one of those scrimmages, whatever they call. I thought it was stupid, but yeah, I don't get involved in that.
Well, sometimes it's, when tensions are high, especially in the sport of boxing and even in MMA, things can get a little bit chippy. Nate Diaz has always been the type of guy that, in my opinion, he does his talking in the ring. Yeah. He's very quiet, but he means business. He's one of the baddest dudes on the planet, and you've been working his corner. You've been with him for many years. Describe Nate's attitude, come fight week.
Yeah, I was in Stockton a week and a half ago, watching him finishing up his training. He's on point, and the mental game, he's real strong. But Jerry, you're right. Nathan's a veteran at doing this, but that aside, forget that. He's a good kid, man, and when he asked me to work with him, it made so much sense because, we're both from the 209, we're both Raza.
That's right.
He gets cut, so on that move, I knew that he was very, very serious. I know Jake Paul, I know Logan Paul, I've worked against him time after time, and, they're good athletes, so I think the experience factor that Nate brings to the table for the long run, it's going to be a factor for him.
I've asked you this before, Stitch, and I remember one time you told me you don't necessarily pick a winner or a loser in the fight, right, but what you look at is the probability of cuts.
Yes.
And you just mentioned with Nate Diaz, he's been in a lot of wars, you know what I'm saying? So when you're going in there, you're going to have to get in some work in. I mean, what is that? How do you prepare your mindset throughout the amount of years that you've been in boxing and in MMA to prepare yourself for that?
That's a good question, man, because you're right. I always prepare for worst case scenario.
That's right.
And then I look at numbers, and we talked about it before, and the probability of Nate getting cut in this fight, based on his past history, is extremely high. So I prepare for the worst case scenario, and the good thing about that also, Jimmy Blue, is the commission knows me here. The doctors know me.
That's
the
right.
Commission, so they know that they're going to give me every opportunity to give Nate that one more round, and my bottom line is for me to take care of him, and that's what I'm going to do. Come fight time, these guys, I'm going to treat them like they're my kids, and Saturday night, Nathan treat him like he's my son.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, during the whole lead up to this fight, Jake Paul's been very adamant. He's been the one really trying to sell this fight. Obviously, he has millions and millions of fans, a lot of people that follow him on social media. But, the true hardcore boxing fans, MMA fans, I mean, they know who Nate Diaz is. And to me, man, he really showcased that he's a man of the people, the people's champion. I mean, yesterday he was doing a lot of Q&A, interacting with the fans. You don't normally ever really truly see that during fight week from any fighters at any level. Can you describe and speak on a little bit on that?
And that's why I love working with him. That's why I'm glad that he called me, to bring me back as being part of the team, because of his character, bro. And that's the way he is. You always give back. You always give back. And it brought a big smile to my face. And he's up in the ring when he brings that little kid in, and they're both posing like this.
Exactly.
That's a classic shot for that kid that he'll remember forever.